I hand you the keys.
Oh, man.
One key. I put one key in your hand, and I say, hey.
Why don't you go take that?
Go do that.
Yeah.
Well, what do I do with this key?
You wouldn't have a clue. That's the
Unlock
kind of
the
ignorance.
Stick it in that hole where that. So I climb in this side.
Yeah, you wouldn't even know.
So what does this wheel do? Why are there 3 pedals down there?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, by the way, this one's a stick shift.
Oh, boy.
Oh, yeah.
No, that's a good analogy. And that's how virtually all adults. You want to talk about, there's this, when you look at the right and the left and why they want to push different policies. And one of the things, if you look at class warfare, what people who never have a pot to piss in or whatever, they're always poor, what they really don't like is that the children of people that they know are wealthy seem to have this unfair advantage. Well, it's because their parents, who most likely have started their own business, are taught, not only are they taught directly how to start their own business, but they're with the parents as they're operating their own business. They don't even have to be taught directly.
Trump worked with his dad.
Yeah.
And learned the deals to make and how to make the deals. He learned that information firsthand from his father.
And his kids are the same way.
Right. And this core family that I see of him and what he's created is something that I've talked to my wife about and something that I am currently creating, that tight core family where you need to know those are the people that you trust. That's who you learn from. It's that core. And if it's not a very strong core, well, you're not going to trust your parents and you're not going to listen to them.
Well, let me back it up. Let me back you up a little bit there, or back up a little bit and say, look, these people who have been born into a family who are just worker bees. They go and they're in a union and they, pipe fitters or electricians or whatever they are. Their parents don't have the foggiest clue how to start a business because their parents didn't. And it's this endless cycle.
Right.
Couldn't we end that cycle by making the public schools teach how to start a business, how to do negotiation, all that stuff?
Whoa. You're talking about giving people the freedom to choose?
Well, at least to teach them.
See, but then
we're teaching them mathematics, and we're teaching them spelling and all this kind of stuff.
Oh, but once they know the freedom of owning their own business.
This is where the Department of Education needs to be completely gutted.
If not abolished.
It could be abolished, but then we need to, there needs to be some, it could be state, states control their own. Somebody needs to tell these people, you got to teach these kids what it takes to start your own business. If you want to work for a big business, that's fine.
Right.
If you want to be a worker bee, that's fine.
And if you want to be a worker bee, at least you'll have an appreciation for what the guy did to get there.
Okay, so you end up working as a worker bee for a huge corporation. At least you knew what he did.
Yeah, but Kerry, if we teach everybody how to run a business, then who's going to buy who's going to buy products? We got everybody.
Too many Indians. Too many chiefs and not enough Indians.
Well, that's exactly what the liberals say. However, it's the same thing.
You're taking away freedom and choice from these people.
Right. So they'll twist it and
okay, let's say we're all worker bees. Let's say we're all worker bees. Shouldn't these people learn how to negotiate their salary?
Yes.
That should be taught in high school.
Yes.
Absolutely. You know when I learned how to negotiate? You won't believe this.
It's a shame. I know.
I did not learn not even the foggiest clue how to negotiate until I started watching Pawn Stars, which was like not even that many years ago. I was in my late 20s, early 30s before I learned for the first time what it really means to become good at negotiating.
That's a crying
shame. That stuff should be learned. And I got a little taste of it, and I'm sure I've said this on the show before. The movie Driving Miss Daisy.
Yes.
In the movie Driving Miss Daisy, I'll do it really quick. You had Dan Aykroyd was the big wealthy boss man. He worked. He owned a big factory. He hired Morgan Freeman to be the driver, butler type person for Jessica Tandy, who was the old his
mom, yeah.
Dan Aykroyd's mother. And he was working for many, 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 many years for Dan Aykroyd to drive around his mother. Finally, he was so good that he was offered way more money by somebody else. So what he did was, he could have just said, you know what, Dan, I'm quitting. And I'm going to go work for this other guy who wants to pay me more money. But he liked Dan Aykroyd, and he liked working for his mother. So he went to Dan and said, I got to talk to you. Got to talk to you. Got to have a little conversation. Whoa, what's the deal, Morgan? I'm using their real names.
Yeah.
He's like, well, just want to let you know that, you know, that guy that we don't like down the way, he offered me X amount of dollars to do what I'm doing for your mother, to do for his mother. And he was like, whoa, 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 whoa. What are you trying to say here? Well, I'm just saying.
Just give you a heads up.
He didn't even ask for a raise.
Oh, no!
He didn't, but Dan knew what was up.
Yeah.
Dan said, whoa, I might lose him.
Right.
Instantly gave him a raise without even asking for it. All he had to do was
Just
say,
mentioned it.
That dude around the way. He even told Dan, oh, no, I'm not leaving you. I'm not going to leave you.
At Casablanca, the movie Casablanca, Humphrey Bogart owns this bar, and then a competing bar across the street came over to him and said to his piano player, Louis Armstrong, who's phenomenal, said to his piano player, say, hey, you know, making all these ultimatums, like, I'll take you. And, he went to Bogart, and Bogart's like, well, ask him if he wants it. So he starts throwing all these things out, and then finally says, I'll double what they're paying you here. And Louis Armstrong said, well, I ain't even got the time to spend the money I got now.
Oh, come on. How? Nobody says that. I'll double. I don't even have time to spend
the money I got. No, I don't have the time to spend the money I'm getting paid now.
What would I do with double that?
Right.
Did he just turn it down completely and that was it?
Yes,
that was it.
Yep, that was it. It's all over. Yeah.
That is terrible.
Apparently he wasn't privy to the negotiation factor.
I mean, I take the money. I mean, at the very least, you got it piling up in a bank account.
Right. So let's wrap this up in a nutshell. These when you go, I've now coined the hashtag Cruz Crazy. If you go Cruz Crazy, you're doing all these things we're saying. All these lies that you're throwing out there. These leaps of faith, these Hail Marys at halftime.
Hail Marys. It's about conservatism. If the goal is to reach a point where we have good conservatives in office that are adhering to the principles of conservatism and adhering to the laws in the Constitution, I understand. I am 100% with you. And in fact, I believe you when you say that Cruz is not only going to do that, but he would do that better than Donald Trump. I actually agree with you there. But here's the problem. If we don't get Cruz and you bash Trump enough, then we're going to get...
I would not, could not with a goat.
What do you do?
Facebook just said they banned that.
Why?
It doesn't follow their guidelines. I didn't do that. Facebook did it to me. It's a big lockup.
Okay.
Sorry.
So anyway, I agree with you that Cruz, when it comes to conservatism and conservative principles and upholding and adhering to the Constitution to the letter of the law, I agree with you. And in fact, if Cruz were to somehow pull off the heist, which he's doing a damn good job of thwarting the will of the voters,
right?
If he were to pull it off and end up being our nominee, I really hope, and I will do everything in my power to make sure he beats Hillary. And if he were to somehow pull that off and beat Hillary, I'm telling you right now, you pulled off the Hail Mary, and I'm going to be cheering along with you. I will cheer along with the Hail Mary that landed. Did you see some of them Hail Marys? What was it? Which football game was that this past season where the guy chucked it into the end zone? It bounced off 6 different hands, landed in the guy's chest, and it won the game for him. I saw a guy right in front of me lose $200 over it. Everybody, this was a huge party, right? Everybody in the party was jumping up and down, screaming at the top of their lungs. One guy in the middle of the mayhem looked like somebody just shot his dog. And I'm not even looking at the TV screen. I'm looking at everybody jumping up and down. And this one guy in the center looking like somebody just told him that his mother died or something, you know?
Wow.
He had a $200 bet with a guy in the middle of the game saying they are not going to come back. I'll bet you $200 that they are not coming back to win it. And he just lost $200. Oh,
here's the Hail Mary that they would throw. This is an actual Hail Mary. This is from back in the day when the rules were a little bit laxed. This play actually caused a new rule to be put in place.
Okay.
And I know some people out there going to hate me for this, but I believe, and I don't have to look it up right, but I believe it was college football, Ohio State.
Okay.
And they're on the 10-yard line of their own side, and they got to go 90 yards down. Unbeknownst to anybody else, only 10 players for Ohio State lined up.
Okay.
And the other team had their 11 players lined up. They hike the ball.
Okay.
And they're going to pass it. And then all of the sudden, an Ohio State player steps out on the field at the 20-yard line.
You mean the 20
on the other side?
Oh, wow.
And they throw it touchdown.
Oh, that's sneaky. Obviously, he was offsides.
One, he was offsides, and two, he was out of bounds when the ball was hiked. He wasn't even in the play.
Right. But even if you allowed for a player off the field to be an eligible receiver, he still started the play offsides, right?
Okay, so that's how Ted wins.
The offsides players
It's
allowed.
the trickery. Yes, because the offsides players, there's no rule that says
there's no rule saying
there's no rule saying that Ted Cruz can't do what he's doing.
Now, if you're a fan, regardless of which side you're on, you can't cheer this on. You cannot cheer this on. This is so underhanded.
I personally would feel so guilty.
Okay, but here's the point, though. They're down by a couple touchdowns in the third quarter.
Okay.
I'm talking about conservatism here. I'm not talking about the race between Trump and Cruz. If you're looking at the race between Trump and Cruz, they got 30 seconds left and they're down by 2 touchdowns. Cruz is in bad shape. And he's going to try to get the guy off the field to jump on to get 2 Hail Mary passes to win the game.
So here's...
My point is conservatism. Conservatism versus the march of progressivism that we've been having to lose this battle over and over again. We're only in the third quarter, and we can battle back from this, but we got to score points. And having Trump win the nomination will score points for a lot of points. Not only, some points for conservatism, but if we were to get Trump's policy, his anti-abortion policy, achieved during his presidency, this is a huge, giant leap for conservatism in America. It would overturn Roe v. Wade. Stop nitpicking about his stupid 3 little exceptions.
Okay. That soundbite that I just played by Cruz, this is where Cruz supporters gone Cruz crazy.
Okay.
Cruz was on the floor of the Senate.
This was a long time ago, right?
Yes, and he started filibustering, and he started reading...
Green Eggs and Ham.
Green Eggs and Ham.
Yep.
And I clipped the part, and I only did this because I was a salon.com comment. Well, Cruz said for real that he wouldn't do a goat. And so I looked into it, and I was like, oh, that's part of the Green Eggs and Ham. I would not do it with a goat on a boat, or I wouldn't do it with a goat. So I clipped that
but
one.
But do it. It doesn't mean sex.
No.
It means eat the green eggs and ham.
But salon.com insinuated that with their meme.
That's called taking it out of context.
So what I did was I clipped the soundbite of him saying that, and I put it up on Facebook.
Is it a copyright infringement for Dr. Seuss? The Seuss estate?
No. apparently a lot of crazy Cruz crazy people have reported it